the story of a small girl who must make a choice between pursuing her musical dreams or staying in her small town and helping her deaf family and their fishing business. CODA is probably the most perfect name for a movie that I can think of. It stands for Child of Deaf Adults, and the story is about Ruby, who can hear, but her family and her brother cannot. She is the child of deaf adults. CODA also means a musical passage that brings a piece to a close. The movie is very heavily focused on music and about the choice that Ruby must make whether to close the chapter in her life or continue on the path that she's on. Now, Ruby is stretched very thin. She's a high school student, but she has to get up at 3:30 every morning to help her dad and her brother on a fishing boat before school. Without her, they can't hear radio announcements or the horns of nearby boats. Now, they could hire a translator to come out on the boat with them, but they don't make enough money to justify doing it. So without Ruby, this fishing business would fail. Now, of course, the other girls at the high school, they don't care that Ruby is helping her family. They just care that she smells like fish, and they use every opportunity to remind her of that. But Ruby is a happy girl. She is very content to continue helping her family and live in this small town. College was never on the table for her. That is, until she decides to join the choir because a cute boy she has a crush on also joins the choir. And her eccentric music teacher finds that she actually has a gift for singing and probably should pursue it. Now, I think probably every one of us has reached a point in our life where we're at a crossroads. Are we going to continue on the path we're on, or are we going to take a leap of faith and do something out of our comfort zone? But most of us don't have that added burden of knowing that if we do follow our dreams and leave that small town life behind, that it could just crush our family financially. CODA is another great coming-of-age story, and it doesn't really differ from other movies in the genre, but it does tell the story from the perspective of a child growing up with deaf parents. It's a story that I've never heard told this well before. For the most part, CODA is a feel-good movie. It's also really funny. The great Marlee Matlin and Kotsur play Ruby's parents in the movie, and they provide most of the comic relief throughout the film. There's a great scene in the first 10 minutes of the movie where Ruby has to accompany her parents to a doctor's appointment and translate symptoms to the doctor, and you can just see the mortification on her face as she has to relay these messages between her parents and the doctor. And in the most powerful scene in the movie, we attend a choir concert where Ruby is performing, but we get to experience that choir concert through the ears of her parents and her brother. And the movie perfectly captures what this must be like. Now, although her parents can't hear her sing, they can see. And their pride grows and grows as they look around the room and see the reactions of the people who can hear her sing. CODA is a fun, feel-good movie. It's one of the best movies of the year. And if you're immature like me and you watch closely, you can even learn some inappropriate phrases in American Sign Language as you watch. Checking Tinder at the dinner table, fishing before school, flirting on driftwood, gossiping at your locker, singing your heart out, translating embarrassing symptoms to a doctor for your parents.